Hey crafters, it's Merritt, your naptime crafter, and I wanted to really come on here and show you a craft I am super excited to make today. So my best friend is getting married very soon, and one of the things that she wants to have at her wedding are one of those really simplistic looking wireframe design wreaths. So I was actually at Joann's yesterday and picked up a whole bunch of stuff because a lot of their greenery is 70% off right now. And along with it, they had these that were also, I think, 70% off. If they weren't, then they were really cheap. They were really good price. These wire wreath rings. And I got 2 large and 1 small because we want to do kind of a gathering of them. So I really wanted to come on here today with you and make one together so that you could see how easy it is and try to make one for yourself. They really make a stunning, simple statement at your party, and they're very on trend right now, of course, so they're very expensive to buy finished. So what you're going to want to do is you buy your frame in whatever size that you're going to want to work with, and buy at least 1, but probably 2 large blooms that you're going to use as your centerpiece on that thing. Now, I'm not sure that I'll use 2 on this smaller size, but this only came in a bundle of a bunch. So, and I really loved the colors for her wedding. So I got a whole bunch of these. I also got one more stunning one because it had a little bit more red in the center, and that's more along the lines of the lush colors in her real flowers. So I wanted to get one to do that. I got 2 of these because they were just quite interesting succulents, and they look pretty realistic, and I love succulents because they add a nice hearty pop for Florida. Her wedding's actually going to be on a rooftop of a hotel. It's going to be stunning. But anyhow, so I picked up a couple of interesting ones that I'm not entirely sure if I'll use, but they just really went with that soft color palette I wanted. Of course, the $1 eucalyptus, I could only find 1 bundle. Must have been picked over. And a couple of these clips, which I thought were really cool because then I can clip them right on the outside to make that pop of white really stand out on a couple of places. So that's all you're going to need is your flowers, your base, and then some cutting implements and something to attach it to your base. Now what I'm going to do is I actually found some brass wire, copper wire, that matches the color pretty well, and I don't really want to incorporate wire ribbon at this point because I'm not entirely sure what color she wants to go with. We'll probably hang it from the top with ribbon, but until I decide which ribbon, I want to go ahead and fasten it with this wire, which will hide and blend in a little bit better. If you don't want to have to buy separate wire, you can use twist ties as long as you know that you're going to have to cover those over with some sort of greenery or some sort of ribbon or something so that it doesn't show. But you can also use twist ties if you have those. So I've got a couple different wire cutters, my miter colors, just in case I can't get through any of these. And what I'm doing is just going along and removing the tags. And I want to go ahead and separate out any of these flowers from their bases so that I can use them in different ways. So I'm going to use my wire cutters and kind of disconnect them from that base stem. And all that's doing is allowing me to be able to use these in a more flexible way. So I'm going to kind of break it down into smaller pieces that I can use. This one needs to stay together because it's obviously one piece, but I'm not entirely sure how I'll use that one. The artificial flowers really do go together in pieces, so they should come apart in pieces as well for you. So really try to keep the bundles together as you can. And then any of these leaves, I went ahead and left that one on quite a long stem because I want to make sure that I can wire it to the base. So any of these larger flowers, make sure you give yourself enough stem that you can lay it to your base and wire it down without smashing the flower. If you give yourself a small base, you're not going to have enough room and you're going to have to kind of smash your flower down to get it in there, and it won't look as nice. So make sure you leave yourself enough room. I'm just moving along here and I'm going to quickly cut some more of these off. I'm not going to use all of these purple ones, so I won't cut all of them. I'm just going to cut 3 for now, and then we'll set these aside to get them out of here. Clear off our table a little bit. Okay, so we've kind of broken down our components. Now what we need to do is we need to lay out, oh, I meant to mention, I bought these wooden sola flowers. Have you ever heard of these? Bought them online. I gotta be honest with you, I was a little disappointed with the quality once they got here. They were a little bit broken up, but other than that, the color is quite stunning, and you can find them in a ton of different colors. So I got them in case I needed to pop up this blush color, but I'm not entirely sure I'll use them because you can see all the broken pieces in there. Kind of a bummer for how much they cost. Just moving along. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set out my wire frames so that I can kind of plan where all my pieces are going to go ahead of time. If you're going to do one at a time, that's okay, but you still kind of want to lay them all out so you get an idea of how they're all going to look together as a grouping, and you don't go too heavy on all of them. You kind of want to be able to spread out the love, if you will. Okay, let me just clean myself up here now that I've cut those off. Move these over. I don't think I need these. I always like working with a little bit of a tidy spot. Alright, so let's start with the ones that we know absolutely have to be showstoppers. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my beautiful red and put it on one of the dark areas. And then I'm going to choose one of the other ones and put it on the other large one. So those two large ones are good. Then on one of the large ones, I'll put one of my white flowers, and we're just dry placing right now so we can kind of get an idea. And on the other one, I'm going to place my other one. Now on the small frame, I want to make sure I give some love to that. So we'll go ahead and take one of these smaller of the purple, and I'll place it over here because I think we'll go ahead and use him on that small one. Now, let's see. Don't want to be too overpowering. I'm going to set this one aside for a minute because I do really like the size of this guy, and he's quite large. I think I'd like to put a large one with this one on the small and a large one over here. So I'm going to set those there. And then I want to make sure I have enough eucalyptus to spread out. So let's go ahead and give ourselves some over here, some over here, some over here. Probably gonna have to go get some more, to be honest with you, because I'm not entirely thrilled with the amount that I've got to use here. But right now, just want to kind of fit these together and see what we're looking like here. Put this leaf over here. Now, I actually do like the way that this adds a little bit of a pop, so I'm going to add him to there, and then maybe some flowers, some leaves to that. And actually, maybe I'll replace this guy with this, so we get some of that in there too on the small one. I don't want it to be too overpowering, so I'm kind of taking away and putting in and deciding, do I want that in there? Do I not? And I'm not entirely sure I do, actually. Once I look at everything, it's a little overpowering to have these guys in, so I'll use them for another project and leave them out for now. I think I do need to get some more of that silver dollar eucalyptus, but these look quite nice together in a little bundle, so maybe we'll use them somewhere else. Now I'm going to start fastening them. So I'm going to do these one at a time just because it'll make my life easier. And what I want to do is find the joint in your wreath. So my joint is here top and center, so I'm going to use that as where I'm going to place all of my greenery. So I'm just going to want to lay them out along this bottom edge here so that they lie flat. And I do know that I want the edges to be flanked with that silver dollar eucalyptus. And I do know that I want to use the natural curve, or actually I can just bend the wire, so that's the beauty of that. And run that wire right along that edge so that I'll be able to bind it with that gold wire right along that edge. So again, now we're just getting a little bit more picky. And then I think I'll nestle that white flower in there, and how beautiful is that? That's going to be just stunning. Next, what I'll do that in a time lapsed for you, but just so you can see how I'll do this next one. I'm going to go ahead and lay the eucalyptus, and then I'll lay my flower going the other way, and then I'm going to tuck my white one in, and over here I'll go ahead and add my berries off to the side of that. That is just going to be so beautiful. And then my last one, we'll go ahead and move them into the camera. I've got my joint here at the bottom. So again, I'll start with the front and center flower that I know I want to take precedence, and I'll put them towards the middle, and then I'll lay my other on either side of him. And I want to make sure that the right sides are facing out of all these flowers, so make sure that you're watching that. So now, do I need this? I don't even know if I need this. That might be a little overkill. Or maybe I'll use it on this one. So don't feel like you have to do the first thing you do. Maybe you want to use this over here. Think about it as an overall picture and make sure that they all look different but sit well together. I'm going to go ahead and attach these with my wire, and I'll be right back.